It's funky, it's fun, it's Nissan's all-new Kicks, and it should be in India sometime early next year. Yes, I know this car isn't exactly what we'll get. We'll get a longer wheelbase, a better interior, different engines, but we're here in scorching hot Dubai in the desert just to give you a preview, to tell you what you can expect. Now it's obviously very hot here at 48 degrees, and the instant heat soak feels like I've lowered myself into a warm bath, but I just can't resist a quick look at the car. Now in India, we like our SUVs to be traditional. That means stand up and upright, and that's exactly what the Kicks is here. It's got this nice tall glass house. It looks like an SUV, but it also has a lot of modern design clues like these pop-out wheel arches, the tip-forward stance, this floating roof here. So all in all, a lovely combination of modern and traditional. Just what we want. Must say, Nissan has done a good job. What Nissan has also executed nicely is the cabin. And importantly, the driving position gives you a good view of the road. So a nice uprightish driving position. It's not as low as something like an S-Toss, and it isn't as high as something like a Duster, but it's a nice in-between. Now, unfortunately, the dash we have here is a base model car. This is a base model car, but there are nice touches here still. This metallic highlight that runs around even on the aircon controls. Of course, we in India will get a big touchscreen here with this frame and climate control. And the other thing I like about this dash is the way they've split it up in two with this nice metallic finish that runs all the way through. Flat bottom steering works well for me. Again, nice metallic highlights on the dials. All in all, a pretty attractive dash. And what we are likely to get in India is a leather wrap with attractive double stitching. I also like the shimmering fish-like texture on the dash. But in India, we could also get a double-stitched leather cover. The center console for the car in India will come with an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple Play and Android Auto. And there'll be a climate control system as well. On later versions, we'll also get a TFT screen in place of the tachometer. And since Nissan has decided to throw everything at it but the kitchen sink, we'll also get attractive brown interiors similar to those on its luxury brand Infiniti. What I also particularly like are the seats. The front seats offer superb lateral support, the cushioning is spot on, and even the seats at the rear are nicely executed. So the seat height is pretty good. It's because of that upright seating position. The seat is a good way off the floor. A nice amount of legroom here. Even though in the Indian car we'll get much more, it's going to be 180 or 200 mm more. That's around that much more legroom. So it should be an extremely comfortable back seat to sit in, especially as there's already a good amount of headroom. Visibility is good. All in all, a good back seat package. The seat itself, however, is placed slightly lower than the one on its natural rival, the Hyundai Creta. Those of you who enjoy traveling with a lot of luggage will also appreciate the boot space. There's a useful 432 liters under the parcel tray, and because the seats split, you can even carry more luggage or bulky cargo should the need arise. But what's it like to drive? And importantly, does it ride like a hatchback or an SUV? The perfectly manicured roads soon give way to sections that have plenty of gravel and broken surfaces. And it's here that the Kicks disappoints a bit. So the Nissan Kicks as of now is built on their V platform. That's the one that underpins the Micra and the Sunny. And for an SUV, it feels a bit brittle and a bit fragile. But the good news is, the car that will come to India will get a more robust platform. It will get a tougher platform, and that's great news, especially considering what our roads are. The car for India will have a floor pan and suspension similar to that of Nissan's radical compact SUV, the Juke. Also known as the M0, the car maker says this much evolved platform is a lot more robust and better suited to Indian roads. Now the Kicks is very car-like to drive. It has a light steering, it turns into corners easily, it's happy to dart in and out of traffic, but get onto a high-speed corner, turn in, and there is a lot of body roll. There's a bit of sloppiness, and that's because the car's been raised. This version of the Kicks also seems disinterested when you show it a corner, and even driving it in a mildly spirited manner brings no real dividends. Here's hoping the new floor pan and the upgraded suspension and steering system make it much more pleasant to drive. What the Kicks does get is Nissan's lovely Xtronic CVT. Now, at low and medium speeds, this just feels very natural. Put your foot down and the car moves instantly. There is a nice surge of torque, and you do enjoy driving it at these speeds. However, put your foot down and you do feel that rubber band effect. You do feel the engine revving unnecessarily, and it does take a while for speed to build. What Nissan seem to have paid particular attention to is the responsiveness of this 1.6 engine. So keeping up with Dubai traffic feels almost effortless, and the Kicks continues to impress on the faster intra-city roads. It isn't the most responsive of engines, but it does have a nice slug of torque in the mid-range. And then, like many Japanese engines, it likes to rev. So eventually, you do pick up speed quite well. In fact, this larger 1.6 petrol is so much better than the 100 horsepower 1.5 we have in India, Nissan should seriously consider making the upgrade. And that's despite the slight tax penalty. The Kicks for India holds a lot of promise. Yes, in its current shape and form, it isn't well suited to our conditions. But if Nissan delivers on its promise and gives us a punchy diesel engine, more space on the inside, plenty of delight features, and of course an aggressive price, it certainly has the potential to take on the current king of the segment, the Hyundai Creta.
What you've just witnessed is some serious action from the JK Tyre Monsoon Scooter Rally, an event that Sportscraft has been organizing for the last 28 years. No, I'm not kidding about the scooter bit, just in case you thought scooters were only good enough to take you shopping or at best to your workplace. That should explain this very stickered and knobby tired scooter, the TVS Ntorq SXR. And guess what? I've been given the permission to take it for a spin.
To create the SXR, TVS started out with the already rather sporty Ntorq 125 and put it through seriously extensive modifications. TVS won't say, but the Ntorq's motor has been rebored to fall within the INRC's scooter category ceiling set at 210cc. What TVS doesn't mind disclosing is that the Ntorq SXR makes, wait for it, 20 HP. That's more than twice the power the stock scooter makes. It has achieved this by tuning the intake and exhaust system on the SXR for better performance, and even the ignition system has been reworked to good effect. The SXR also features a quick throttle, which makes for, well, quicker throttle response. It's not much lighter in rally guise, however, although doing away with the stock exhaust has brought about a minor weight reduction. In true rally machine style, the front mudguard has been raised and suspension travel along with ground clearance has been increased as well. And finally, TVS got the SXR to put on a pair of knobby tyres around 12-inch pressed steel wheels, which fare better when subjected to abuse than alloys. The result is a scooter that instantly made waves when it debuted at the 4th round of the INRC in Nasik earlier this year, with a strong finish in 1st and 4th place.
Speaking of which, we have with us the man who took the Ntorq SXR to its first win at its maiden outing at the INRC this year, Asif Ali. Man, how do you do it? I mean, even some 4x4s can't do these sections, at least not as fast as you can. So are you really crazy, or has TVS built an incredible racing machine here?
Yes, to win a rally, one should have a good rider and a good racing team. Definitely Team TVS Racing has done a great job in terms of building a good scooter, and I'm doing good on my physical fitness so that we both combine and give good results.
You make it sound really simple, but I'm sure it isn't. By the way, can you show us some rally basics so that we know how to get it right on a scooter?
Yeah, these are the basic maneuvering while entering the corner, putting the left leg out and then the right leg. And then we don't have a tank to hold it. So what I usually do is to hold with my legs to the seat, and I put my body weight on the back, and I don't feel hard on the handle. I let it go with the flow. And I feel it goes very quick and easy. I always took my elbows out. This maneuver helps me very much in the racing.
Well, that looks easy. I think you should stick around and watch me do it so that you can decide if I'm going to give you some tough competition next year.
Hey, that should be really funny.
With Asif keeping a close eye on his prized possession, I take off and almost instantly have to eat my words. This is completely unlike any other scooter I've ever ridden, and the speed is just a part of how incredible it is. You can thrash it around like you would a dirt bike, and the Ntorq SXR barely loses composure over even the most challenging bits. Along with its impressive suspension and inherently good handling, what helps is having 20 HP on tap, which means you can power in and out of any situation, no matter how tricky it may appear. It also produces a loud and racy soundtrack, which adds to the sensation of speed, and to be honest, you never really feel out of control on it, which is simply astonishing considering this is, at the end of the day, just an automatic scooter. Wow, I can't believe how different the Ntorq SXR is from the production scooter.
I mean, that an everyday scooter can turn into such a dominant rally machine is almost impossible to believe. But I guess TVS hasn't been racing for the last 35 years for nothing. So, am I really good enough to ride this at the next rally? Probably not. But you know what? I'd love to take this.
So I'm going to pick up Revati. She's been teaching in the school for a month. She's never been to Lachung even though she's been living near Gangtok. Revati is this old friend of mine, and she also loves traveling. She's also a model and an actress, and once in a while she gets tired of the whole thing and goes and volunteers in these remote places.
So what do you think? What do you think of this? What do you think of the Captur?
The car looks good,
Yeah.
and the dashboard looks good. Seat is comfortable.
Yeah.
So far so good, but once we complete this whole journey now, I'll give you an expert
Then
opinion
you
of
can-
what I think.
Super.
We are taking the road to Lachung and then carrying on further to 0 Point, which is approximately at 16,000 feet and very close to the Tibet border. The air is very thin and the road gets more treacherous as we go up. On this road, there's lots of rock falls and you keep coming up on boulders lying on the road, and because the roads aren't very wide, it is difficult to get through the narrow space between the boulder and the edge of the road. If you don't want to damage your car, I always recommend that someone gets out and spots you through the narrow space.
Ooh, look at that.
What is all this?
What is all this? Basically what's happened is it's a landslide. They're trying to clear it, but what's happened is all these trucks have gone through all the mud that's been washed down here, and it's all deep ruts. So you need a lot of ground clearance to get through. It looks a little difficult, but I think we should be able to do it.
Are you sure?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
The unpredictable part about traversing these roads in the monsoons is that you can get stuck for hours at these landslides.
You know what I'm worried about? It looks like solid rain coming up ahead. So what's going to happen is, in that kind of situation, the slush becomes very slippery. Then it becomes challenging to drive.
There's nothing here. There's nothing. There's this road and there's the river, like some 3,000 feet or God knows how many feet down.
Awesome.
The awesome part about driving this road are the views you get. I mean, there's deep valleys, waterfalls as tall as 20-story buildings, no people, and best of all, there's no plastic to be seen anywhere.
So I think you were scared, huh?
No, I was not scared. It was like
Yeah.
a lot of
right.
things.
Yeah, right. But I think the important thing is we're here.
Important thing is we made it.
Yeah.
The scared part is okay.
And what an awesome drive, huh?
What an awesome drive. What a comfortable drive.
Look at this place.
I know, man.
GTR, 3 letters that represent Japanese performance royalty, and that's because they represent this car right here. It's the latest version of the Nissan GTR. But recently, Mercedes, they launched their own AMG GTR. Now, what this is a DTM racer for the road. And this is a question that's been bugging us for the longest time, and I'm sure it's been bugging you too. Which is the better GTR? The one from Japan or the one from Germany? Godzilla or the base of the green hell? There's only one way to find out. This is the big one, really. The Nissan's twin-turbo V6 has 570 horsepower and 637 Nm of torque. But the AMG's twin-turbo V8 has more, 585 horsepower and 700 Nm. However, despite it having a set of wide, sticky tires, the Mercedes is still only rear-wheel drive, while the all-wheel drive Nissan has been known to be brutally quick off the line. So, who's it gonna be? Place your bets now. Boy, was that close. The Nissan got a much quicker launch with its all-wheel drive system, but the Merc's sheer grunt meant it was never too far behind, and was reeling the Nissan in about halfway through the run. In the end, however, it was Godzilla that crossed the line first, just 0.4 seconds ahead of the AMG.